Hello everyone. Just wanted to do a quick lecture today, finish up the topics I plan to cover in Chapter 7. That being said, I highly recommend that you read over Chapter 7 thoroughly. There's some more detail in there that I won't explicitly cover in the class, but some hints and tips about how to apply some of these concepts that we've been talking about the last couple of lectures. Today's lecture I wrote out in advance just because there's quite a bit of text and to speed the process up a little bit. And the topic of today's lecture is aliased instructions. So aliased instructions allow a processor to only implement a limited set of instructions rather than every possible instruction that a programmer might want to use. And a processor that implements just a limited set or an essential set of instructions is referred to as a RISC processor or a reduced instruction set computer. Okay, and just to give you some examples of how can we eliminate some instructions. Here's some examples of some instructions that aren't actually implemented or recognized by the NIAS2 processor. Okay, so some instructions that you may at first glance say, well, yeah, but these are instructions that would be very helpful, like not, or increment the value in the register, or decrement the value in the register. Okay, the reality of it is, though, that we don't need these instructions explicitly because there's other means under which we can perform these operations. A NOT operation we can do by using an XOR logical operation. Increment operation we can implement by using an add of a value of 1. Decrement, of course, we can do an add of a value of -1. Okay, so in that sense, you can start to see how we can reduce our instruction set and only implement some of the core essential instructions and be strategic about how we use those to implement the specific functions that we need for our code development. Okay, so the reality of it is, though, that there's some instructions that a programmer may still want to have access to and not have to think about, how do I implement this instruction in an alternative method. Okay, so those instructions can be incorporated into the compiler, or in our case the assembler, as aliased instructions, or you might think of as pseudo instructions. So it's basically a redirect of a instruction that you may want to have commonly available, and it just maps that instruction to another instruction that is in fact available for that processor. Okay, so this allows the programmer to use the alias instruction as if it actually existed in the instruction set available for the processor, and the actual instruction, or the alias instruction, gets substituted by the said actual instruction that exists for the processor during the assembly process, so as that assembler runs. Okay, so here's a simple example of the subtract immediate instruction. So we want to have an instruction, a subtract instruction. Makes sense that you know, we think about our mathematical functions. Subtract seems to be a key one. But we don't actually need that. The processor doesn't really need to implement a subtract instruction. It just needs to be passed a negative value to the add instruction. Okay, so this instruction, the subtract immediate instruction, is what we would refer to as an aliased instruction. And when the assembler runs to assemble the program into the machine code, it would actually implement this add immediate instruction, but with a negative value for the value 3. Okay, so this is the actual instruction that's used. Okay, let's pull up the instruction set reference and have a look at these alias instructions that might be available. Okay, so if we bring up the instruction set reference again, which you should get very familiar with, and if you open up the bookmarks, you can quickly navigate your way through this. And I'm going to scroll down and look for the subtract immediate instruction, which we see is actually listed, which you may think, well, that's interesting that it's there. We just said that it didn't actually exist in the processor. No, but this instruction set reference refers to alias instructions that will be recognized by the assembler. And you can see here that the this instruction is actually an alias instruction, as stated down here, where it says this is a pseudo instruction. Subtract immediate is implemented as an add immediate with a negative value there. Okay, so that's one example of an aliased instruction. We go back here and let's look at a couple more examples. So a move immediate. Move is one of these critical functions that we said are necessary in a processor, and something that so we frequently want to move. We want to move data around. In this case, the alias instruction shows a move immediate where we're moving a value of 3 into register 5. And but as we know, this alias instruction can be easily implemented, and in fact this is how you will probably see it's done in the lab examples, is just by doing an add immediate with a value in adding a value to register R0, which is zeros, and putting the result in the destination register. So this add immediate is going to implement the same function that a move would, but might not be as clear what's going on and why you're using an add, right? So that's the other benefit of these alias instructions. It makes for more readable code that might make a little bit more sense to somebody that comes along to look at this code that didn't in fact write it. Okay. Another way that the move immediate could be implemented is through an OR instruction. So if we OR a value with register 3, we'll get the same result. Or a value with register 0, for example, the value 3. The register 0 is all zeros. ORing with any value, any of the ones will get set to 1, because only one of the two inputs operands have to have 1s in order for the output to be a 1. So again, same effect as using an add or the main purpose is to actually move a value into the register. So both of these would work, but move immediate is actually implemented with an add immediate. And we can go back to our instruction set reference here again. We find the move immediate instruction, and again we see here that the fact that this statement here means that it's actually an alias instruction. They're calling it a pseudo instruction, and it says that move immediate is in fact implemented with an add immediate in the processor. Okay. One final example, and this one you can probably see a lot of value in using alias instruction like this. So here's a move immediate A, which is a move immediate of an address value, and we know our addresses are 32 bits. So this is we don't have any means directly. If you think about your I-type instruction, your immediate field in that I-type instruction is only 16 bits. So how could we move a 32-bit into a register directly through an immediate instruction? We can't. So in this example, it seems as though we have an instruction that can move all 32 bits. Keep in mind this is a hex value, so this is in fact 32 bits, into register R5. But in fact, that instruction is an alias to two instructions, which is this OR instruction, an OR high instruction, which takes the values passed to it and actually puts in the most significant 16 bits of the destination register. And then finally we take the register that those 16 bits were in and add on the least significant 16 bits to get a final value in register 5 that is the entire 32-bit value that we want. Okay, and we can again go to the instruction set reference for move immediate address right here. Right, move immediate address into Word. Right, so again, we see right away, yeah, it's a pseudo instruction. It's not an instruction that actually exists in the processor, and it says that it's implemented as these two instructions. That are listed here. Anyway, okay. So that's alias instruction. You might be interested to look in the notes at the use of macros. Okay, macro being a kind of the same as an alias, but can be created by the user, where we can map a kind of a pseudo instruction, and what in fact is a macro, to one or more instructions that are executed when that macro is called. Okay, so kind of like a little subroutine, but so it's just a means of mapping a term, a text term, to one or more instructions. Okay, and we'll see later on as we look at implementing push and pop on the stack that we'll implement those with macros, because they in fact don't exist in the NIAS 2 processor. Push and pop, that is.